For a while now, there has been a meme going around on the internet that draws attention to the number of blondes that work for Fox News. It just basically shows all the different blondes, and it shows the lack of diversity on the network. It's something that we discuss time to time here on the Young Turks. Well, PolitiFact actually wanted to address the issue, and so they did their own analysis of it by taking note of all the different women that work on the network. And what they found was that that allegation that the majority of the females working for the network are blonde is mostly false. So they found out that there was a total of 14 blondes and 12 non-blondes. Okay? The fact that they even addressed this issue is a little ridiculous, to say the least.
No, I agree with that. I would have addressed it.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Who cares? Look, I know we joke about it, but overall, I don't care. I don't care how many blondes Fox has. What I care about is their message, and their message is misinformation, and that's the real problem. I don't care if it comes from blondes, I don't care if it comes from Latinas, I don't care if it comes from black women. As long as it's misinformation, it's misinformation. They obviously go for a very specific look there. It doesn't need to be analyzed. Yeah. That's my take.
Yeah, no, it's a fun thing, and I like that PolitiFact is having a little bit of fun with it. I mean, I don't think they're being overly serious. They don't necessarily think it's the #1 issue in America.
Fun is not allowed.
Okay. And I think that there is an actual serious point, though, which is that, and they don't really hide it that much, they care a lot about the appearance of the women that are on Fox.
Every network does, though, Cenk.
No, and that's totally fair, right? Yeah. Now, is it a little different if Fox has the policy of they're not even allowed to wear pants, which we know that they do, right? Mm-hmm. Based on an insider that wrote a book about it. And they all have to look a certain way and be hot and show their legs. Well, I mean, if you're running a family values channel, it's an interesting policy to have, right? And we know that all through other insiders that Roger Ailes consistently watches Fox News with the volume off. Maybe because he wants to, even for him, save his own sanity. I mean, could you really watch Fox News with the volume on all the time? But the point in that story is that he thinks appearances make all the difference. So what is he saying about the Fox News audience? He thinks, your family values and all that, and you're a good, happily married man, but you like to look at leggy blondes.
Right.
And that's why I'm going to put them out there, and that's why you're going to be turned on and watch my channel.
Right.
So it just makes them a tiny bit more hypocritical than all the other channels that also do it.
So, okay, obviously Fox does go for a very specific look, and they do tend to favor blondes over brunettes. And I'm really curious why that is. Like, have they done some sort of market research into that? Am I giving them way too much credit for even thinking that they might have done market research into that? Are blondes more desirable? Like, why is it that they go for that specific look? Is it because they think blondes seem more pure and innocent? I don't know.
Yeah, look, this is now we're getting into pop psychology, but my sense of it is that Fox News wants to recreate 1955, because that's when most of their audience grew up. Literally, right? Their average age of their audience is in their 70s, right? So, I don't know, maybe they might have been even older than that. And in the Leave It to Beaver days, in the, when you think of 1955, you think of a blonde girl in a skirt, right? And Happy Days and all that stuff, right? And so that's what they've recreated. They found people that look like they're from 1955 America, or conventional media view of 1955 America, and they put it back there so the 70-year-olds can go, oh yeah, the good old days when all the girls look like Gretchen Carlson and Megyn Kelly. Get off to my lawn, sonny. And even the appearance of the conservatives and liberals on the shows, right? So it was Hannity and Combs for a long time. Hannity is like nice, like stout young American, right? And he's got a nice block head and all that stuff, right? And then Alan Combs, who I love, but has the glasses, a little cross-eyed. And they're like, ha, the liberal, right? Who's the only other liberal they have on? That's not fair. They have a couple of so-called liberals. But Bob Beckel. Yeah. I mean, he's an admitted alcoholic who's a mess, who goes around saying Oriental and Chinamen and the most offensive things, and like, Bob Beckel, that crazy drunk Bob. That's how the liberals are, right? All the conservatives are like, hello, hi, I'm Eric Bolling, right? And the women are like, well, sit down, look at my legs, right? And you got Betty Rubble, and you got, Marilyn Monroe, the two archetypes, and then all the liberals are mutants. So,
and look, image is everything. I mean, think about the situation with Nixon and Kennedy, right? Think about how much of an influence that image had. You have Nixon who's looking sick. You have Kennedy who's wearing a little makeup, looking super studly. That had an impact.
So the reason why those two things are actually connected is because the image person for Richard Nixon was Roger Ailes. Okay, he now runs Fox News. So that's an amazing fact. So once Nixon lost the debate to Kennedy on TV, he won it on the radio. Right. Same debate, this is a legendary story in history. But since he looked like he was dark and sweating and looked nervous, he lost it on TV. Then he became obsessed with his image. Later, he hires Roger Ailes. Having learned that lesson, they're obsessed with image. I read a story about how Roger Ailes did a Christmas tree lighting for Richard Nixon. And he said, okay, you can't have a kid light the tree. You need to be surrounded by kids and families, all right? So you look really like, like you're the American father, right? And he said, but you can't have the kid light the tree because that'll look weak. The president has to light the tree. But you can't light the tree by yourself because it'll look rude. Like, here, kids, give me the thing, I'm gonna write. So what you do is you take one of the kids, it's a memo, they found the memo later, and it's written by Roger Ailes. And he tells Nixon, you take the kid, you put him on your lap, and you press the button together, and that lights up the Christmas tree. And then you see the video, and Richard Nixon does exactly as the memo dictated days earlier, okay? And he puts the kid on his lap, lights the Christmas tree together. Roger Ailes has been perfecting this image business for decades. Behind the scenes, behind the Christmas tree, behind the leggy blondes at Fox News, Roger Ailes has been running this show. And that's why he's one of the most powerful men in America. And you can disrespect him on 18 different fronts, but you can't say he's not smart. He's a smart guy who has crafted this machine. Now, we think it's a propaganda machine, but it's an awfully clever one. So you got to know all its tricks.